that we are recording it. And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nico Snyman. I'm the CEO, the founder and CEO of Crest Advisory Africa, and we are speaking today about Isolytics, the management system that we have developed, and we are speaking specifically, actually, to people that wants to be a value-added reseller for Crest Advisory Africa about in terms of the Isolytics system. So I'm just going to go through the webinar guideline. So please mute your microphone. I will also mute it here on this side if I hear any changes in the sound. Please keep your video off if you want to. Otherwise, you can keep it on. It doesn't matter. It is just for better streaming for all our attendees. And let me please complete the presentation. It will take about maximum 60 minutes. I don't think we are going to be so long with it, and then make notes of the questions to be asked. You can go at the bottom of your system. You will see that there's a place to go and chat. So there's really one chat there. So Helene will manage our chats, and we will answer all the questions afterwards. And then the webinar is being recorded here, and after the session, we will put it out there for everybody to see. Helene, will you also just make sure that everybody is muted, or that when I present that you are managing that? Okay, thank you for that thumbs up. Good. Then just want to go, who is Crest Advisory Africa? It has been founded in June of 2014. So the 13th of this month, we are 6 years old. And as you know, every company that is actually established in the first 4 to 5 years, it is a chance of are you going to do business or not doing business. So we are over that 4 to 5 year period. We are in our 6th year. We're specializing in corporate governance. So this means that management systems are actually we are working specifically with enterprise risk management, business continuity management, compliance management, quality management, and we are occupational health and safety management as well. And we've got 17 other standards that we are specializing in as a company. We are platinum partner of the Professional Evaluation Certification Board. Now, I just want to put that in context. That is not just a statement that we are making. It is platinum partner means that out of firstly, the PECB, the Professional Evaluation Certification Board, is an international company that is certifying international standards. They've got a university. They are doing training in ISOs. The whole university and structure is built around ISOs, or management systems. So they've got 1,844 accredited partners in 150 countries. And platinum partners, there's only 29 of them. We were number 23 in this process, and we were platinum partners since last year, February, March. Just want to show you quickly what Crest Advisory Africa is doing. We've got 8 offerings. I'm not going to go into each one in detail, but we're doing training across the spectrum from ISO accredited training through our SAQA authority, and then also personal competence training. We're doing management system and management consulting services. We're doing audits. We're qualified auditors for the first line of audits, the second party audits on your customers and suppliers, and then as independent auditors or management system auditors to certify companies in the management systems. Then on products, we've got a variety of products, and at the moment we are focusing greatly on the COVID pandemic. So we've got products there that is including masks and disinfecting tunnels, and also disinfecting areas in the workplace to prepare companies to return back to work. Technology, we are speaking about our technology today. I will give you a brief demo on that. And this is actually, we want to take this further through you and your own networks, that you can actually make money out of this whole value-added reseller process, because it's very important that we are empowering you as the consultant to use our technology. Not a lot of people has got the means or the finances and the time to actually invest into technology, because your research and development cost is extremely expensive, firstly, and secondly, the process of building this is taking a lot of time. So we are actually giving this offer out that each and every one of you must actually see Isolytics as your own business venture, that you can actually go out and sell it. I will also explain the financial model around that. Then executive incubation. We are doing incubation with businesses, with executives, with C-suite positions, and we're also doing business rescue. And then we are talking about events. We can host any kind of events, from conferences to breakfast sessions to launch of products. And then our flagship is actually our international certification. Now, we are through the PCB. We can certify individuals in terms of lead auditors, in terms of a management system, lead implementer, in terms of management system, training organizations. We can also do products, as well as our real flagship is we can certify a company to say that you are compliant with a specific international standard. Just to give you validation on that, as you can see, this is my management system certification. And as I have spoken earlier about the PCB, and you can see the PCB MS, that stands for the management systems. I am number 152. Now, out of the 1,844 accredited partners in the world, I am number 152 on the whole spectrum, and you can see the number of ISOs that I am certified for. And this is just the start of this whole process. What is Isolytics? Very good question. Isolytics is a management system that is actually created to make sure that what we are actually working with as consultants and as auditors, we couldn't find a system that is actually incorporating all of those things. So what we went out to actually map and to plot and to make sure that we are delivering a specific product to our customers firstly, but also in the management of management systems, we have actually built a GRC model. So I'm starting here at the top. So GRC is for governance, risk, and compliance. So the GRC model has been built in Isolytics. We have built combined assurance. Now, combined assurance is a fairly new concept. It is, I think, globally 3 or 4 years old. So combined assurance is now a unique opportunity for people to actually see how can you actually measure one system against another system, one department against another department, and through that, you can have a combined assurance model that you can apply throughout your business. The I2MAS, that is to do with our incident and investigation management system. I want to actually ask everybody that is attending this webinar, please be present if we are demonstrating the I2MAS, because it is a phenomenal system. Helene will be doing that. And between both of us, we will be sharing the webinar, and it is actually what we couldn't find in the market, we have actually been to build. Bowtie is a visual risk assessment that you can actually see what is happening, what is your controls, what is your level of your layers of protection approach, how many controls do you have in your whole risk management environment, what is your internal control effectiveness, how can you audit it, And then we're going over to ERM. ERM is for enterprise risk management. So everything that we are building in this whole system is with risk-based thinking. Risk-based thinking is critical for every environment because risk is defined as the effect of uncertainty on objectives. It's as simple as that, 5 words. The effect of uncertainty on objectives. And if we are looking at, and this is why you will see with the analytics system, the branding there on top, we are saying that we are driving performance and certainty because this is the opposite of risk. We need to create combined assurance that a company can actually say that instead of working with the effect of uncertainty on your objectives, you are actually saying that we are driving performance and certainty in reaching our objectives. Then on the left side at the bottom, the system is specifically built for International Standards Organization standards. So we have used that as a framework for everything that we are measuring. So the measurement is against the standards requirements, but we have taken it through the GRC, combined assurance, as well as enterprise risk management. We've also got a mobile system that we have built with our partners. This will also be a different seminar. Checklist is the most underrated risk assessment methodology that you can get in the world, and is the most effective thing if you are actually doing it, that you can measure it and quantify it in a way that you can say, what is my level of risk and what is my level of assurance. And out of that, you can also measure what your internal control effectiveness, as well as what is the documents that you are using to actually guide this whole process. What is the assurance that you are giving pertaining to your documents? Compliance is actually a yes or no situation. So are you doing it? Yes. Or aren't you doing it? And that gap analysis is a simple gap analysis. And then surveys. In every standard that we have actually investigated and actually analyzed, surveys or feedback from your stakeholders, feedback from your employees, feedback from management, feedback from your vendors, your subcontractors, everybody, even your communities, is a critical part of delivering a service or delivering a product, or working with any kind of environment, whether it is IT, whether it is building apps. Your surveys is a critical risk assessment that you can use to actually manage your risk. And then if we're looking at the right-hand side where I have actually marked it there in red, everything here that you have seen on the left-hand side is actually built on a platform that is artificial intelligence driven. So our artificial intelligence to actually get all this data in and combine that into a deliverable that you've got, and parameters that you can actually measure your risk appetite and your risk tolerance, is actually giving you a lot of information that you need to be working with. And you cannot work with a system that is, I want to say, that is old technology. You need to be looking into the future, and the future is artificial intelligence. One of the components of artificial intelligence is machine learning. So machine learning is that we can actually set down a standard for how does a certain document look like. Like if you're looking at a management review document and you set the standard combined with the deliverables and the requirements, then you can actually measure that standard against the documents that you are uploading on the system. And we will show you now what is happening there in terms of that. So if we just want to explain to you quickly on what is Analytics. So if you're looking at Analytics, we have been in partnership with one of the leading universities in South Africa to develop this, and we've been in discussions with them since about 2014-15, and we have signed a partnership agreement with them in 2017-18, and we have started to build the system. Now, the whole research and development structure of the university is behind us. And because of that, we are actually saying that we've got two components to Isolytics. Firstly, it is our subject matter experts that we've got in the field, like myself, Elaine, our other consultants, or our network of consultants. And then secondly, we've got a specialized environment with the university that is actually hosting and building and researching what is the best and the newest technologies that is there in the world, that we can always be on the forefront of technology, that we don't get lagged behind, and that we are always fresh and new. So Isolytics measures the health and maturity. Very important towards that, the health and maturity of your management system. Now, if you're talking about a management system, just want to stop there quickly. You are looking at your supply chain as a management system, as human resources as a management system, as IT as a management system. Health and safety is a management system. Quality management is a management system. Safety, I can go on maintenance, operations, everything. Every component that you've got in your company, there's actually a vertical in your organizational chart is actually a management system that you need to actually measure. And each one of them has got certain deliverables and certain objectives. And based on that, you need to be actually measuring what is the health and maturity in human resources. What is compared to the supply chain, compared to ICT, compared to health and safety, operations, maintenance. And if you've got there a performance base of 80% plus or 70% plus, you can have, that is giving you a combined assurance over the whole business. And through that, we can actually make sure that the return on investment in actually investing in Isolytics is going to be so great that you want to actually buy 2 or 3 of the Isolytics if you can. Then what we can deliver through Isolytics is that we can provide combined assurance across all the verticals in a company, every management system, whether it is an ISO standard or whether it is just a management system that you are working with. Secondly, we've created a central depository for all the evidence that one has got, whether it is checklists, whether it is a document, whether it is a picture, whether it is a voice note. All of those things can be logged as evidence, and then measures the level of risk. Very important if we're looking at the definition of risk. What is the effect of uncertainty on objectives? And if you are looking at the level of risk, you will always know that I have to work on my risks that is prioritized and that I know exactly where we're going to be, because the objectives of the company needs to be delivered through every vertical and every department of your company. And then measure the level of assurance. Now, if you're looking at corporate governance documents, whether it is King 4 in South Africa, or whether it is SOX or Sarbanes-Oxley in America, or JSOX in Japan, level of assurance is actually what you are giving. If you are a CEO, you are giving that level of assurance about the business environment. You are giving that to the board, and the board will be questioning you. And if you cannot have answers on your level of assurance, and if you cannot drill into the level of assurance per department, per environment, then you are sitting blind. And then the feedback that you are giving, or the report that you are giving as a level of assurance report to your board, the question is it invalid or not? Can it be trusted or not? And because everything is linked to money. If there's a level of assurance in a certain department, then you don't have to spend money. If there's a level of risk in a specific department, the question should be, is it about leadership or is it about the other resources? So if there's bad leadership in that department, then the leader must be challenged. If it's about your resources that you've got in that department that is not utilized, then it is back again to the leadership. What is your tone at the top? And then the last part there is enables continuous auditing of risks across various management systems. I will demonstrate statistics to you, and you will see that every time that anybody that has got access to the system is making a change on the system, it's live. So anytime you can log into it and you can precisely see what is the status in every environment. Isolytics has been built on the PDCA model. Now, if people that don't know about PDCA, just want to inform you quickly that PDCA model is actually part of the total quality management TQM processes that was established by Edward Deming in the early 40s. He implemented this in the early 40s in Japan, and not only in Japan, at Toyota in Japan. So all the best practices that you are seeing about just-in-time, about TQM, about supplier development, about vendor assessments, etc., is actually coming from very old management systems. And Deming was the father of total quality management. So in 1947, the International Standards Organization has actually adopted the PDCA model that was implemented by Edward Deming in Japan. They have recognized that as being a global best practice, and every standard that you will see that is speaking about ISO is actually addressing the PDCA in the following way. So firstly, you are seeing the plan, do, check, and act, and each one of the planning. This is why if you're looking at, if you don't plan, you will not succeed. The saying is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So look at all the requirements that's actually part and parcel of the planning. The planning process is critical for everything, because what you are setting up and what you are documenting in your planning process is actually your strategy going forward. If your strategy is actually well defined and you know your environment that you are working in, and you've got your risk assessments and everything that's actually giving you assurance that you can go over into your doing part that has to do with your resources and actually spending money. And out of that, making sure that in 2.6 that your operations is operating on the maximum levels that it should operate, then you will see that the checking part of it is then actually where you are 3.1 has got actually 4 components to it. Firstly, it is monitoring. Monitoring is a specific thing that you have to do that is different from measurement. Monitoring is actually checking if people are doing A, B, and C. Measurement is actually looking at how well did they do that. And if you don't have a measurement about how well did people do that, is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it adequate? Is it suitable? And is it relevant? If you don't have those 5 things incorporated into your monitoring and your measurement, the following deliverable in that space is then analysis. How do you analyze it against your planning objectives? And how do you actually evaluate it to determine where's your gaps? How can you improve in certain environments? Where are you overproducing? Where are you actually overperforming? So 3.1 is a critical part of every process. Internal audit, everybody knows about internal audit, and people think that internal audit is a person that is sitting there in an office and he's drawing some of your processes out of a hat once a year, and you're being audited. That's the biggest mistake that anybody can make, because actually there are six levels of audit. The first level of audit has to do with what is your line management doing. Your second level is what is your specialized units or specialized functions doing. So that can be compliance, that can be quality, that can be internal audit, that can be anybody that has got a specialized function and that is outside of the work environment there. The third one is your internal audit environment. Your fourth one is external audits. Fifth one has to do with your forensic auditors, etc. And then you can see that something went very wrong in a company. And then your 6th level is where the regulator, the regulatory authority is coming in and doing an audit. And whether you are in insurance, there is a regulator. Whether you are in finance, there's a regulator. Whether you are an airline company, there's a regulator. Airports company, there's a regulator. Marine company, there's a regulator. In every environment, there's a regulator that you have to have a license for. And if they find something wrong in your management system, they can stop your business. And this is critical that we're looking at that. Management review and then non-conformances and continual improvement. That's actually the basis of everything, continual improvement. How are we better than yesterday? How did we do better than yesterday? How can we improve on today to be better tomorrow? If we have done 2 things today, can we do 3 tomorrow? Or just 2.5? That continuous improvement, small steps, but it is huge in this whole environment. So if looking at the key characteristics of Isolytics, firstly, we've got a single sign-on for multiple platforms. Secondly, we can give role-based permissions, escalations, and notifications on various levels, so everybody can be in the loop about the performance of the management system. Segregation of duties. We have built that into our system, so people have got certain permissions and certain accesses as well. And we are working with sensitive data, and we are relying there on, there are various global standards. One of them is the GDPR. The second one is actually an ISO standard 27701 that has to do with personal information management system. So we are making sure that we are compliant with international standards as well. And then the ability for reporting and extracting information manually, we can do that whether it is in PDF, whether it is in Excel, whether it is in Word, that the information that is on the system, that you can actually work further with it. If you want to draw pivot tables out of the information that's actually captured into our system, you can extract it via Excel, and you can do pivot tables. If you want to actually make a report, the report is, as it is on the system, is printed, and you can make your own comments on that. APIs is very important. This is where we are integrating with other systems to feed our system and actually to feed that other system as well. And then we can pull information into our system from other systems, and then visualization. Visualization is actually graphs. That is just different ways of actually presenting the same thing, whether it is in a histogram, whether it is in a donut chart, whether it is in a radar chart. It doesn't matter. We can develop for you any kind of visualization that you need. And then it's a modular approach. You will see that we've got about 6 or 7 modules. Each of those modules that I explained in 2 slides earlier, that is modules. So each of those modules can actually be implemented in your organization until you've got a full system, or you can just start with a smaller system. And you can build your own interconnective dynamic Isolytics system and software approach through what we've got here. Now, I just want to before we are going to the benefits for a value-added reseller, I just want to go to our system here, and Elaine, just make sure that you can see it. Just give me a...
And you can't see, still see your presentation, so I think you need to stop share and then go into the...
Thank you. There we are. Okay, righto. Thank you very much. Can you see it now? Just thumbs up, yes or no? Elaine? Thank you. So if you go into our system, what we've got here already is actually, we have, as you can see on the left-hand side, it is a pre-populated system where you can actually work with 11, 12, 13, 14 systems. And we can also build in here, if it's for the aviation industry, we are busy with the ICAO rules and principles to be built in here. We can also build in ITIL, we can also build in COBIT, we can also build in King 4 or SOX. Anything that you need to measure, we can measure it in the same way. So what I've done here is actually looked at the maturity of 3 standards. Each one of them is measured on its own, and then it is giving you a roll-up system that is actually providing you with fantastic management information pertaining to that specific vertical in your organization, as well as with the performance of people. So this is 18788. That has to do with the Security Operations Management System. Then we're looking at 14001. This is your environmental management system. And we're looking here at ISO 45001. That is your occupational health and safety management system. And if you want to do another one, we can put in ISO 22301. And there you've got an overview of 4 management systems. And we can also integrate this to be one level higher, where you are actually looking at a combined assurance. This is already combined assurance, but on a higher level where you've got only one graph that is actually telling you the overview of everything in a company, and then you can drill down into this one here. I'm going to use 18788 as a demo platform. So you will see that on the system itself, it has been built to be aligned with the management system requirements. So we are looking here at context is usually in a standard, in the integrated management system standard, it is clause 4. 5 has to do with leadership, 6 is planning, 7 is support, 8 is operations, 9 is performance, and 10 is improvement. And I will go to integrated systems just afterwards. So on context, any management system, any place where you are starting to with a business, or that you are working, or that you are actually being appointed as a person to actually drive a specific environment, you are the management system. You as a person is the management system. If you don't know what is the contents of a management system, then bad on you, because then you are actually only looking at operations. That is 1 out of 7 deliverables. If you are not looking at this holistically and understand this holistically, you are actually going to be selectively in implementation of a management system. Now, only context. Context is actually understanding the environment where your business is doing your business in. So what is the internal environment? Internal environment means everything that you've built around you with your systems, with your resources, with accessibility, with your values, with objectives, everything there. This is included in your internal environment. Your external environment is usually, we're speaking in management system language, and in strategic management, we are speaking about the PESTEL model. Now, the PESTEL abbreviation speaks about political, environmental, social, technological, economical, and legal environments. So all of that is actually included in your external environment. And I can guarantee you, your external environment at the moment with COVID-19 is driving your business either to do business or not to do business. So if you don't take the external environment into account now at the moment, you are going to be dead, or you're going to be in hospital, or you're going to be sick, or your business is going to be closing down because you need to go and to be disinfected, and you need to be in quarantine for 14 days and longer. And that is the effect of an external environment on your business. Then the legal environment. Legal environment, if you have got a regulatory environment, or any environment has actually guidelines for human resources, for supply chain, for IT. So that all those need to be united and documented into your legal universe. And that is actually your legal universe. Your subcontractors, if we're looking at the global pandemic now, subcontractors can also be your vendors. Now, what is the biggest challenge here? The biggest challenge was actually that the whole bread basket that everybody has been buying from is sitting in China. And China is out of stock. And now the whole world is sick. So your subcontractor management is so critical to know where do they get the stock and how do you actually work with that. Human rights. Human rights is in every environment critical, whether it is in a pharmaceutical environment. Do you work with people that is with child labor or not? So human rights is also the conditions of work, and that has to do with your occupational health and safety environment. Stakeholders. Stakeholders is everybody from the unions to your communities, your environment that you have to work in for your permits, licenses, etc. All of them needs to be documented, and all of them needs to actually have a criteria that you can actually measure them. Firstly, to do with your consequences. So there's your whole consequence criteria. There's your whole internal control effectiveness criteria that you are measuring, your document assessment matrix that you are measuring, because I can guarantee you, I've seen it in companies that they have got documents that has been developed but haven't been signed off. But they have already implemented the contents of the document. Now, that doesn't mean it is a 0 and 100. I don't believe in that. I believe in was the work done? Is it, can I test it somewhere? Can it be proven? And what is the process of correcting it? And this is why we have actually built, we are unique in this space, that we have actually built a document assurance matrix. It is the first globally. Then risk, we've got this risk matrix, and you can see it is a very mature risk matrix. I have published a white paper on a discussion paper on the risk matrix and what is being used, and then the likelihood analysis or criteria. And if you're looking at those, you will see that if you're looking at the internal environment, I'm just going to give you one example, because as a value-added reseller, you need to be understanding that this is your system, this is your product. If you can sell it, or if you can explain it, you will sell it. It is selling by itself. So if you're looking there at objectives, I'm going to take row 1. So objectives there has got an abbreviation that you can correlate it with the graph here at the bottom. So it is 1, and 1 at the bottom you'll see is red. So if you're looking there at compliance, and if I tick it, you will see that the live interaction with your graphs are there. So what we have actually built around this is that if you're looking at risk management has got two defined measurables. They are saying that you have to measure the likelihood and consequence to determine the inherent risk rating. Inherent risk rating is actually a very difficult thing to measure, because you have to put yourself in a company that is 25 years old. How was this 25 years ago when there was no controls? I don't think that anybody has got such a good memory, and especially people that has been on a board or on an executive forum for 2 to 3 years. They will not know the context there. So we have taken out the subjective measurement of inherent risk rating and replace it by actual measurables to say, what is my controls that I have got in place there, like an objective? Can I measure that in terms of my internal control effectiveness? If you look at the internal control effectiveness, I just want to give you a hint here. We are going to be looking at this level of assurance. You will see it is now 28, and this level of risk, because level of assurance is you're giving me a guarantee. I can take that guarantee to Exco, or I can take it to the board, and I can bank on it. And if you are lying, I'm coming to you and I'm firing you. That is as easy as that. It's as straightforward as that. It's a yes and no, it's a black and white environment. So if we are looking at this one here, you will see that this is at the moment, the internal control effectiveness is at the moment at 50. Let's make it 80. Objectives are good. So you will see now it has changed already from 28 to 38. The document assessment matrix or assurance matrix is now saying that I've got a document. It's good. It is the internal control effectiveness is good. And this document can be signed off or has been signed off, and everybody has been trained in it. So I can make this one 100%. And look there, my level of assurance is now 57, and my level of risk is 43. And my level of risk is now also plotted on my risk matrix, and you can see there that number 1 is sitting here on 11. And this is exactly what you have measured it about. And what we have brought in here as well is a bit of audit. So if we're looking at we as a management system certification, extension of a certification body's work, what is very, very important for us is actually non-conformances. Conformances and non-conformances. So you'll see on that one there that we have got it there as a minus 25, a minor non-conformance. So the non-conformances that we are speaking about here is a major non-conformance, and we have weighted it in terms of there's a failure to the whole system, and it's a minus 15 on your level of assurance. It's a minor non-conformance when you can see that there's a kind of a slip up, or that there's a systemic fault there, and we have weighted that as minus 25. Observations is something that can be in the next 12 months going over into a minor non-conformance. So it's actually an early warning system or a risk on the horizon that you are working with. So we have said, if you are identifying those in your business, we are giving you a positive 10 on your level of assurance. And then opportunities for improvements are usually a 2 to 3 year project where you are saying that we need to implement a kind of a system, whether it is an incident management system, whether it is a risk assessment system, it doesn't matter. But for that approval process to go through, it is going to take about 18 months, 24 months, 36 months. And for that, for identifying that and starting with the process of building a business plan, etc., and proving it, we are giving you a positive 20% on your level of assurance. And then anything that is out of scope or that is acceptable, we are actually making it a 0. So I'm going to be very positive here, and I'm saying that we are a very proactive company, and because we have got objective that is 80% and a document is 80%, there can be opportunities for improvement there. So I'm giving ourselves a plus 20, and you will see that our level of assurance is now 91, and now we are going over into, so this is affecting our level of assurance critically, and our risk on this is only 9. So on your risk matrix, you can see already that we are performing, we are doing good. So if we're looking here at the combined assurance model, as I have explained earlier, there are 6 levels of this, and what we have actually got from, let's say from the, so firstly, level 1 is your line function, level 2 is your specialist function, level 3 is internal auditors, level 4 is your external auditors, level 5 is your assurance providers, that is your forensic fraud examiners, and then 6 is a regulatory inspection. And now that we are so actually good with a 91% level of assurance, I want to say we were visited by an external assurance provider, and they have given us a non-conformance, and we are making it minus 15. And now you can see your level of assurance is a level 4. It is a minus 15. We are still on a 91, and our level of assurance, level of risk on the risk matrix is actually a 3. And you can see there it's very low. So you don't have to actually spend time, effort, and money and resources on your objectives. It is your choice. And then evidence, critical in every environment, is that you've got evidence that you can actually, there's 7 levels of evidence in any auditing environment. That's observations, verbal, that's interviews, documentary, that is documents, that's simple, technical, analytical, confirmative, Confirmative, people don't know what is confirmative evidence. It is like a scale. If you've got a scale that you are measuring, whether you are measuring diamonds or you're measuring gold or you're measuring anything, that scale needs to be calibrated once a year or once every 6 months, once every 3 months, depending on what is the environment like. Now that scale calibration is actually that certificate that you are getting as maintenance or as calibration. That is confirmative evidence. Put it in there, it is counting points. And then physical and mathematical evidence, that is when you're starting with analysis, and you can upload it, and everything that you have uploaded is now lying there. And you've got a whole history of how you've actually worked with that specific environment. And nothing can be removed. It is done. So this is your whole continuous improvement process that nobody at the moment, we have audited a lot of companies over the last years. And people are struggling to actually say to us or give us evidence, how did they evolve over the last 5 years? They can give you the last year or so plans, but evolution for this company over the last 5 years, I'm not even speaking about companies that is 10 years old, 20 years old, 15 years old. It is just gone. In this space, we're actually keeping it in one place, that we can actually go back into history and say, but we have tested this, we don't have to go and do it again. And then all our actions that we are actually issuing performances, we can have it here as project management, and that is all the measurements that we are doing. And out of this space gives you a total gap analysis, and we didn't even spend so much. This can be done by a company that is internally, and out of this we can also go and look at all the downloadable graphs that we've got. So whether it is internal control effectiveness, whether it is your document assessment or assurance, whether it is your level of risk or level of assurance, whether it is your risk profile that you've got there, your non-conformances, and then lastly, your combined assurance model. And all of this can be downloaded in JPEG, PDF, any kind of thing that you, any kind of document that you want. So it is available. And all of this is then in your summary. I'm not going to go through every one. It is going to be just too much. Secondly, all of this is now actually aggregated into one slide where you're looking at your 7 environments that you have assessed, with your 5 different measurements that you have done, as well as your risk profile that you have actually created. And there's everything that you need to know about how do I understand the context that my organization is starting to do a business in, or in this changing environment that we are now in COVID, how do I change with this environment? Did anybody at the moment do an assessment on the environment? I've been seeing companies over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and people are changing the ways that they are doing business. It is impacting hugely on business. And this is the external environment that is our number one thing here, is actually driving the business and the business processes that we are used to. So each of these are actually working in the same way. What we have got further in the integrated management system is that we've got one specific space where we are all the our own systems as well as external systems that we are linking onto with an API that we can feed information into our system is actually lying here in the integrated management system. Whether it is your incident and investigation management system, whether it is your checklist that's actually risk assessments, whether it is surveys that is also risk assessments and feedback from the customers, whether it is the bow tie methodology. Everything is lying in here, and there's a webinar that we have scheduled for each one of those. Now, I just want to give you then the overview of what you've got. And there's your wagon wheel that you can easily see where is my critical control points that I need to manage and need to actually work on. And out of this, you can then see your combined assurance model, back again to the front page. So it is as easy as that. Everything that you are placing in here as a company is actually guiding and driving your business. So this is a direct measurement of your return on investment and your business strategy. It is driving that. I just want to log out of this and then just share again my screen with the presentation. So this is where we are. Again, you can see the presentation. Thank you. So this is where we are on the presentation, and then why I want to ask you, if you've got such a fantastic system, why do you want to actually have one or two people having access to it? Why don't give the world access to it? So what we have decided as a business, because we are working in a global environment, we are actually driving compliance and combined assurance globally, whether it is, as I said, through SOX or King 4 in Africa and JSOX in the East. We are driving combined assurance. Now, if you're looking at value-added resellers, we want to empower you to actually be the driver of your own system. You need to adopt the system and take it as your own system, and let's make money out of it. We have built it, make it available to everybody. So the benefits of the Isolytics value-added reseller, or VAR, is firstly, you have an internationally acclaimed software which you can market, manage, and improve as you need it. So you can give it to you can go to your clients, you can present it there. We will empower you. We will train you. Everything, all the backup systems, we have got it already. Secondly, you have another unique product you can present to all your clients and make money out of that and create a revenue stream that you didn't have initially. The third point is your clients are registered under your name and it is your client for life. I am not interested, we are not interested at Crest to take over a client. That is for me unethical. That is for me against my beliefs, my values. You have got the client, we will support you with that client. We will not do anything to actually to take that client away from you. That is for me a total no in my business. It cannot happen. And we are so serious about this that we are saying that you can even put it we can even put it in a contract that client will be yours even after you have died. That you can actually give it over into your will and into your estate, and that your children and their children can actually benefit from the system. That you are not sitting with a 3-year commission system. That is for me nonsense. You have done all the work with that client. You have taken that client out of a zero space to a buying space. And that work cannot go lost. That work must be acknowledged, and it must be acknowledged for life. It is your client. We will make sure about that, and we have designed our contract in that way that is your client for life. Then this system creates for you multiple revenue streams. Now, if you don't know the different revenue streams that is out there, I'm going to go through quickly to say that firstly, we are creating for you cash flow. Cash flow means that there's a cash injection in your business, that you don't have to wait for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months for the money to be paid. Secondly, training. Training is actually your cash injection. Then consultation. Consultation is actually, if you look at consultation, people are thinking that management consultants, it is the thing that you have to do. Wow, I say no. I want to say that is a combination of either good business or a combination of either stupid business. Stupid business, I'm meaning here, is that in consultation and in auditing, you as the consultant or as the auditor needs to spend money, needs to take your cash flow out of your business, and out of that, you need to go and do the work And after the work is done, you have to wait 30 to 60 days for your money. That is not clever business, to be honest with you. That is actually making business out of nothing. And if you don't have money, you cannot do that. So if your cash flow is hampered, you are stuck. You don't have business. You cannot even do the consultation part or the auditing part. So without that combination of multiple revenue streams, you are actually just dependent on one revenue stream. And if that one revenue stream is something happening with it, you are bankrupt. And the last one there is annuity income. Annuity income is how can we generate for you, as I said there in bullet number 3, that you and your children, as long as you are working on your clients and your client base, and you are implementing the system, that you can benefit and that your family can benefit and their families can benefit. So annuity income is that every year we are actually getting money out of your client and that you are getting money out of your clients now as well. And that is a monthly payment, an annual payment, doesn't matter, but you are creating for yourself. If you've got 10 of these clients, then you are set for about 6 or 7 months of the year. And then you've got income already that is guaranteed for the next 3 to 4 years for 6 or 7 months. So if you are writing up 3 or 4 companies per year, you are going to be in the next few months or the next 1 or 2 years, you are going to sit with a guaranteed income on a monthly basis. And then Isolytics, we are, as Crest Advisory Africa, you can go and look at our profile, and with the research and development of the university, we are there for you for everything. We've got a centralized marketing that you don't have to market at all. We will market this. You are just marketing it to your own clients. We will market it globally. And if we are getting a lead in Ghana, I'm not interested in going to Ghana. I'm giving it to Della that is in Ghana. I'm getting something that is in Ethiopia. I'm giving it to Mr. Reddy and Inku, that is our VARs in Ethiopia. If I'm getting something in Tunisia, I'm contacting Isam and I'm sending him a free link, and he can possibly make money out of that. So let's go on. The various revenue streams that I was talking about. The first one is actually you are getting money out of the selling of the system. So in the selling of the system, you are getting 30% of the sale price of the system. And I will show you the actual figures just afterwards. Modules. If you are selling one of those extra modules like the bow tie or like I2Mass or the checklist or surveys, because your client are not going to take the whole package. He's going to start with something and he's going to grow gradually into this whole Isolytics modular system. So then you are getting, instead of 30%, you are getting another 10%. So we are splitting the 40-60. Then your annual user license fee. Your annual user license fee is actually a simple thing. So we are there sharing 50-50. So Crest is getting 50% and you are getting 50%. On the license fees, that's for every year for the rest of your life. And then your ASMF, that is a 30-70%, your consulting, your system consulting and implementation. This is where you are sitting in front of your client and you're going through the process documents that we have developed that you can check off. Do the client want to have in the internal environment all those the requirements there, or do they want to redescribe it? How can we do that? And for that, you are getting 70% there because it is your face time. It is your time that you are spending with your client. We are there as your support system. And this is why if you have got the 70% there, we have to go and configure the system. And this is why we are taking 30% of that one. And that is your cash injection as consulting. Then training. Training we can do virtually, yes, but I want to empower you. you need to build the relationship with your client, that your client can build the system with modules to have all the modules. So the more that you are engaging with your client, the better it is actually for you and your client. And through that training, we are saying that the initial training is yours. So you are actually buying the intellectual property from us. That is the 20%. And we've got a pricing structure for the training, and that the rest of the balance is going to you. And then what we have built in here, and this is our exposure into systems over the last 10, 15, 20 years, is that system people are making the biggest fault of their lives. They are actually having training once off on the system, and then the system is evolving, but the user's knowledge are not. So where you are buying a system in 2015 and your users at that time has actually optimized the utilization of that system to about 50-60%. In 2016, you have increased the functionality to 60% of the system. Now the users don't know any of that. So their knowledge of the system is actually going backwards. They are actually degenerating their knowledge because your system are growing so fast. We've seen our system has evolved enormously over the last 2 years. And this is why we have actually built in there that a license holder that went on the training only has a license to work on the system for 1 year. And this is guaranteeing for you income, because the annual maintenance fee is actually your maintenance fee to be a license holder, firstly, but secondly, your CPD points, your continuous professional development points, are actually that you have to be at a refresher training that is 50% of the initial training, but that we can expose you to the new direction and the new functionalities that we've got there. I want to open for you. I just want to stop share here and just open for you the financial model that we've got about this. So, so the financial model that we've got about this are like the following. Firstly, the system, when you're selling the platform, I have given you the information about that. Then you can actually use, just want to make it a bit bigger. Then that is actually your the cost. I am speaking here about US dollars. So this is the cost of the system. That is market related, very, and we are actually cheaper on that. Then you've got the modular process, and this is your modular process that you've got there. And this is on this example, it is working out on $17,000 US. And then you've got your annual user license fee that I've spoken about. So each license fee, whether you are a system administrator, super user, system user, each one of them has got a different cost, firstly, because it has to do with different days. And as you can see here, what we have got here is one of our clients has actually asked us for a cost on the mobile system. So the mobile system, these guys has got about 60,000 employees, and they want every employee to have access to a mobile system to lodge a grievance, to ask a question about salary payments, to lodge a payment question, etc. And we can sell that for a few cents. As you can see, they're 26 cents per user. That is, but if you're looking at the volumes, that is huge. So if you're looking at your annual system maintenance, that is usually 20% of your total fee that you've got, as I've said there. And then your system, your solution configuration and implementation. This is where you've got the management consulting, where you've got FaceTime with your client, and this is the cost that we are guiding you in, and the number of hours depending on the size of the organization. And then your training, this is based on 10 people that we've got there, that we can see the cost there. And then your annual maintenance fee, that is actually your money that's coming into your pocket every year, is that. And then all your flights and disbursements, it is all for you. We don't want it, to be honest with you. It is yours. So this is the opportunity that we are speaking here about. I just want to go back to our presentation. So good. So if we're looking at getting into the market quickly, firstly, we've got Isolytics Lite that we have actually developed to make sure that it is an easy sell. So it is a limited system with a platform with 10 users. You've got an annual maintenance fee, annual fee there of $24,000 US. The monthly payment on that amount is $1,999 US. If they pay it upfront, then they are getting 10% discount. And then we've got a minimum 3-year contract. That is your 3 years. It is not only ours, it is yours. It is where you are getting 3-year money out of that $1,999. And I'm not talking here about training or everything else. Modular is light, and then you are taking modules extra, and this is the cost that we are speaking of there. And then we've got an enterprise license that we are talking about big companies like banks or mining houses, etc., that they want to give a lot of licenses out. We can do that, it's not a problem. But then our maintenance and then they've got the whole system, everything available on the system. Not only one module, they've got everything on the modular system. And then the monthly payment, the $30,000 US for those companies are not actually money that we can actually speak about. And this one is also a minimum of 3 years. So you can see there's opportunities for growth. There's opportunities for you to actually take this further. So our VAR agreement, if you are interested in this, please feel free to contact us. You've got our details. We will send you, the moment that we are receiving your request as a value-added reseller, we will send your VAR application form. And when we get that back, we will register you on the system, and we will get the agreement done and make sure that everything is in place there. And then we will provide the training for you on the system itself. We will also provide you with the marketing material, whether electronically, and it will, everything, if you want to have other training material that we don't have, we will develop that. And then we will provide you with the username and platform. We will register you, and we will register you to demo the system, just like what I was doing earlier, that all of our demos is actually going into one pool, either client 1, 2, and 3, and you've got active people working on the system. The moment that you've got a client, we will register your client on the system, and then your client can actually work specifically on that one. I just want to share with you what is our membership and endorsements. You will see that we are actually coming a long way with this. Since 2014, we have. I want to actually go back to our biggest global partnership. This one here in the middle. I don't want to go to all the others. This one here in the middle is actually our flagship. You can see all the other institutes and Chamber of Commerce and accreditation there. But the PCB Platinum Partner is actually our biggest achievement. And then testimonials, we are busy with implementation across companies. So you will see that if the Financial Intelligence Center, there's a testimonial there that is saying that Isolytics simplifies ISO standards, compliance, internal audit, IT, risk incident management, and health and safety to everyone. Isolytics will take away lots of auditing problems because it provides all non-conformance levels as approved by the highest authority in a company and organizations. Also from De Beers, it is a global organization. There's also one there, and then we've got from the PCB itself, they have said there that indeed you have done a wonderful job that will facilitate the implementer's job to measure and keep track on the maturity of the management system. And they will actually take it further. We will be on the PCB store soon, that you can buy it either from there or you can buy it from us. So the bonus for attending this webinar, if you are interested in this, the moment that we are getting your value-added resellers form, then we will give you access to our system for a period of 6 weeks that you can actually test it. And if you want to have a proof of concept, a POC done in your environment, please let us know, and we will do that for you as well. So this is the end of my discussion. So I want to ask Helene if there's any questions that we need to answer.
No, Nico, I didn't get any specific questions. There was one with regards to, do we do financial audits? But I have answered that we are actually in this looking at the standards more. But Joseph, I just want to actually add there also that if you have a need for financial audits, we have a network that is available, and we can, that is also affiliated with professional bodies within South Africa, and we can arrange that for you. We use an extended network for that.
Helene, I just want to add the, who was asked that question, Joseph?
Yeah, JMT.
Okay. We are busy in negotiations with ACL. I don't know if you know ACL. ACL is one of the internal audit systems that is actually market for many years, that is being used by mining houses across the world. So we are hoping to conclude our negotiations with them to incorporate the financial audits into this as well, eventually. Okay.
Any other questions for Nico? Doesn't look like that.
Okay. So if there's no other questions, can we say thank you to everybody? Thank you for your attendance, and please let us know if you want to be value-added resellers. We will. We are out there, and we want to assist you in this. Thank you.
And I have added our email addresses on the chat, so you have our email addresses. I have all of your email addresses. I have made a note of everyone attending, so please pop us a mail if you need any further information, and we will make sure that you get it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are going to have another webinar tomorrow afternoon. The same time, 3 o'clock, please go to our website and go and register there. We will send you the link. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.